Hi guys, and I know we've had a lot of questions in regards to the assessment task that's just been handed out, so I'm just going to go through it and explain it with you. As you can see, the due date is the week 11 of this term, so what I might do is I'll have it due by Friday of this week. So if you scroll down through to the assessment task, and I'll go straight to the actual task that you need to do, and that is the field analysis here. So we went on our excursion, we conducted some field work, we found out some information about Bicentennial Park and in particular the wetlands there, the intertidal wetlands. So we're just reporting on that. Now don't get confused with all this over here, I will go through that with you, but let's just focus on the actual question, what it asks us to do. So as you can see, it's investigating issues in the biophysical environment of the wetlands and how the biophysical processes contribute to sustainable management of the environment. Now that's really wordy and there's a lot of information there. What I will do is I'll split it into two. So the first part of the question is investigating issues in the biophysical environment of the wetlands. So what you are basically doing is looking at all the issues that occur in the wetlands. And when I say the biophysical issue, the biophysical environment, it's looking at the four spheres working together as well. The second part of the question is how the biophysical processes contribute to sustainable management of the environment. So what's happening in that environment that allows it to sustain itself? So think about the adaptations of the different plants, the need for the water, the birds, the animals, everything that works in that environment, in that ecosystem, how it works together to create sustainable management. So what I've provided down here is a guide for you to answer those questions. But going back up to what a geographical report is, it's just basically the structure of how you should put your report together. So start off with an opening statement, generally a definition or an introduction, a sequence of related statements about the topic. So you would use subheadings. In geography, subheadings are fine to use. In other subjects you may not, but definitely in geography you can. And then finally a concluding statement, which makes some sort of judgment. So in your report you must include the following subheadings to help you structure your response. You may also include other headings to help you with your research. Now these are suggested subheadings, but I would strongly suggest that you use subheadings to organise your information. So for your opening statement, you would identify the location of the intertidal wetlands at Bicentennial Park. Where are they? Where are they located? Why are they there? Then you would need to identify and describe the biophysical interactions, so of the four components that occur in the intertidal wetlands. What happens in the atmosphere, what happens in the lithosphere, what happens in the hydrosphere, and what happens in the litho, bio, hydro, and atmosphere. So in those four atmospheres, what's happening in there? Your booklet that you received on the day is broken up in those sections, so that should help you organise your information. What I also want you to understand is what these key terms mean. So identify is basically sketch in general terms. So don't spend too much of your word count in these sections here. Your opening statement should be roughly around 200 words, no more than that. So for you to identify and describe, it requires you to do a little bit more. So for describe, it means to provide characteristics and features of those four components. So if we're spending 200 words on that, I would suggest you'd spend around 500 words on this section, because you look at the four components, break up the four components, and that's roughly 150 words each component, if not a little bit less. The third dot point there, so explain the effects of human impacts on the components of the biophysical environment. So what impacts, so the causes and the effects, have humans had on this environment? Think about pollution being one of the major sources. We studied the different maps towards the end of the day of the changes of the natural environment and how they're trying to remodel that environment back to its original state to maintain it. There's some of the things that you might want to include there. So for that section, an explain style question. So we've said around 500 here, around 200 there, so we're up to around 700. I would go around 300 around here for this part there. So we're up to around 1,000 words. And then finally, to analyze something means to identify the components and the relationships between them. So identify the components of sustainable management of the environment. What are they doing to maintain that environment, to make it sustainable, to make sure that it's there for the future? So our focus is on the Homebush wetlands that we visited. You are required to do further research into it. So what we did on the day is a great basis for us to start, but you will still need to conduct some form of research into that. And remember, all sources must be referenced in your bibliography. It's extremely important that you provide a bibliography, and it must be in the correct format. And I'm sure we've all got samples of that we can use. Use photographs, graphs, tables, or statistics again to support your information. It is a geographical report, so that is extremely vital that you do that. And then the marking criteria down the bottom. Again, you've got the marking guide over here and what you must do in order for you to attain those marks. I hope this has made it a little bit clearer for you, and it's made it a little bit less confusing and less daunting. But again, if you do have any questions, please email me and I'll be happy to answer those for you. I apologise that this didn't come to you earlier. However, with the last few days of school, it is a bit stressful out here at the moment. But again, good luck, and let me know if you need any more help. Thank you.